4 albums in, 5 million streams later, 2 Brit Awards, 1 Ivella nominee for Songwriter. His last album was released back in 2017 and it was called Youth. He's back now, making music. His latest single that he's just released is Closer featuring Abby Flynn, but we'll dive into that a bit later on. For now, my special guest joining me on the show today, I'm so excited, is the pioneer, the great, the one and only Tinie Tempah. How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, my brother. Blessed to be here, man.
No,
finally.
Yeah, no, we made it happen.
Exactly.
Thank you to the teams. The teams made it happen as well. So yeah, I'm great. Good morning, great morning. We're here now. You're looking suave. I'm loving the shade as well.
Bro.
Looking suave. Let's dive straight into it. I was trying to think, how can I actually start this interview? I had a few different creative ideas of how I wanted to do it.
So you was thinking about it.
I was thinking about it, of course.
Yeah.
Then I was like, you know what, let me look at the lyrics. And I remember 2 of my favorite songs for you was Wonder Man featuring Ellie Goulding, and Written in the Stars featuring Eric Turner.
Yep.
And then looking at the lyrics, I was like, you know what, this would be a great way to kind of start the conversation. Now, you actually asked questions in the beginning of your song of Wonder Man.
Yeah.
And I wanted to phrase those questions to you today. Now that you have reached the success and you're in that point now where you hold such a status in the UK community in terms of rap, British rap as a whole. One of your first questions was, what kind of person should you be when you want to make people accept you?
Yeah.
So I will phrase that to you now. Obviously, years later.
Yeah.
Does the answer then kind of differ from now, or would it still be the same?
Do you know what? I think the answer to it is actually just being yourself. I think when I was asking it was kind of more like a rhetorical question. Do you get what I mean? Because especially at that stage of where I was at in my life, you're constantly trying to like fit in and make people like you and be accepted and be loved and be respected. You know, we've all been through it. Do you get what I mean? And especially in the like MCing community. Do you get what I'm saying? But I think in hindsight, the answer is definitely just being yourself, man. Yeah.
And then it goes on, you asked another question when you said, what does it really mean when you dream of being famous and successful?
Yeah.
And I was like, do you know what? When I started my presenting journey, I was like, I didn't want the fame, but I looked at people like Reggie Yates, like the Trevor McDonalds, like the Trevor Nelsons, and I was like, look at them paving the way. I see people like myself on British
it's realistic,
TV.
It's
realistic, it's achievable. And that's what kind of success meant to me at the time. I think for you now, now that you've achieved all the success that you have, and of course, at different stages, people want more. What does that kind of mean to you now going forward now?
So for me personally, like it's peace and happiness, bro, and health.
Nice.
Do you get what I mean? Because again, when I was asking it, it's a rhetorical question because fame and success is subjective.
Absolutely.
And especially like the world we're living in now, like you can be famous for so many different reasons, bro. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
very true.
Do you get what I mean? There's people that have just been on their phone consistently talking to their audience that are way more famous to their audience than me and you will ever be. Do you get what I mean? So it was very much a rhetorical question. But I think, like where I'm at now, success is happiness and it's peace. Do you get what I mean? And it's knowing that you have people around you that are real and that love you, and it's being healthy, bro.
Amazing.
To be honest with you.
Amazing. Going from here, so you've evolved a lot musically since Pass Out. What's something you miss about the early days of your career?
The early days of my career, I think. Oh, what was that?
No, that was just on the iPad channel.
Okay, cool. I was like, what's going on there? What do I miss from the early days? To be honest with you, I miss like not hitting milestones that we've already hit, because the more you achieve, the harder it gets. Do you get what I'm saying? So you almost set new challenges for yourself. There's a new mountain for you to climb, and that mountain's higher than the next one. So I like especially in British culture, everyone loves to come up, innit? That's what we love. Do you get what I mean? My man, he's literally just come through. He's got the new banger. Do you get what I mean? He's whatever age, and now he's just bought his mum a car. He's bought his mum a house. That's where that's like our sweet spot. Do you know what I mean? Or new young player. Do you know what I mean? He's coming through, shutting stuff down. He's scoring all the goals. So I think I missed that. Like, having milestones that hadn't been reached yet, where people are almost like rooting for you to reach it, if that makes sense, because it's like a first, it hasn't happened, or it hasn't happened for you yet. And I feel like when you're almost on the other side of it, then it kind of becomes almost like a competition with yourself. Do you know what I mean? And maybe that support may not be there as much. The love definitely is, but you know, some people may think, you know, he's all right now. Do you know what I mean? He's done his thing.
He's done his thing. Like, what does he want to achieve now at this point? But I feel like, again, like you mentioned, hitting those milestones is sort of a great thing, and having goals as well to attain. but you are Tinie Tempah.
Yeah.
You have hit those milestones. You've got a lot of firsts.
Yeah.
Now, what does that look like for you? Because you're now back making music
Yeah.
after being away for some time.
Yeah.
So does the game look differently to you? Do your milestones now change and differ now? Or is it still like, I want to still get number ones. I still want to be, because I feel like people kind of reinvent themselves and they have resurgence every point in time. One person I always say that does that successfully is Jay-Z. He's always had time to reinvent himself as well. Do you know what I mean? So what does that look like for you in this day and age now, back in 2025, where the landscape is so much more different, which I feel music is somewhat more easier now as well?
Yeah, I feel music is easier but harder at the same time, because if you think about it, it's very saturated. Do you know what I mean? So you've got 100,000 songs being uploaded to streaming sites every single day.
Yeah.
Every day, bro. So you're like 700,000 songs in a week. How do I stand out from that? Do you get what I mean? How do I get noticed in all of that? Obviously, like today, I've had 7 number ones. If I could get more, that would be amazing. Yeah. But I think where I'm at, I feel so blessed to even just be here and to still be making music and to still be in a position where people like yourself want to talk to me. People want to play the music. Absolutely. People want to rave to the music, new and old. That, like, I mean, just being able to release music on my own terms. Do you get what I mean? It's coming out of our studios. It's coming off of our label, which has always been the case to a certain degree, but it even now feels like there's more kind of control and more autonomy. That for me was always the goal. I always said to myself, when I got to a certain place in my career, I want to have this studio, 4 or 5 rooms. I want to be able to go in there, take my shoes off, sit down, and then also just see bare up and coming talent just coming through, being able to utilize all of our resources and also make something of themselves. Yeah. So I think for me, like, music is a vocation. I think that's what I realized when I took my hiatus. Like, it's not a job, it's a calling. Yeah. I mean, it's a blessing from God to be able to, whether you're singing or rapping or producing, make something that has a frequency and a vibration that makes people feel something, or makes people, do you know what I mean, want to move, want to dance, want to go out. That's a blessing. Do you know what I mean? From God, it's a gift. So I feel like I almost owe it to all my fans. Sometimes I'll be looking at my like Spotify and I'll be like, you got 5 million listeners there, like monthly. You need to keep like feeding them, like giving them what they want. Do you get what I'm saying? So for me, that is what success looks and feels like to me. And then also paying it forward to the new generation and giving them the tools to be able to like thrive and flourish even beyond what any of us have been able to do. One
thing about Tinie, I've always said this. I feel like when I've looked at your career and I'm like, Tinie low-key's an A&R, you know, because his ability to collaborate with such great artists, some that were in the peak of their career, some that were coming up. There's so many artists that weren't at the heights that they are today, like the J. Cole's, like there's so many, the Zara Larsons, the Ellie Goldings, so many names. And I'm like, Tinie really has such a catalogue of so many artists that have really gone on and featured in their own.
You're the first person that's ever said that, so thank you. Bro. No, I think so as well.
Loki, you're an A&R, you know, like, because you have the talent and the air as well for it as well. And I think it shows as well how much you love music, because you're always trying to push your boundaries with the songs that you release. Were there any songs in your catalogue that you felt like you wasn't unsure of, or was there all of them where you were just like, I know this is going to take off, or I know some person would definitely resonate to this? Did you have any kind of like, oh, I'm not too sure about this, but I'm going to do it because I'll see what the masses might say?
I think, bro, like with every song, I've always had like a level of doubt. Always. Like,
really?
Yeah. I think because
at the end you don't show it, you know. The confidence that you put in the songs, that you don't show it, bro.
No, but I think with every song there's a level of doubt, because when you're making it in the studio, yes, the confidence is there. I've made something I love. I've made something that I'm feeling. But now I'm almost going to be vulnerable and present it to the world. Do you get what I mean? And now it's down to the people to say it's good, it's rubbish, it's this or that. So because I think any artist would say this. I think because you're almost given a piece of yourself. Yeah. And obviously now we're living in a world where there's comments and there's this maybe podcasts where they're reviewing the tracks and giving their opinion and whatnot. Like, you're a bit nervous. You're a bit like, okay, cool. Like, what happens if it doesn't do well, whatever. But I would say the one that I was probably most unsure of that surprised me the most would have probably been like Miami to Ibiza. Really? So like I said, from Pass Out, Written in the Stars, you name it, I've always had a level of, obviously once the songs start doing well, do you know what I mean? So once you're following on from a song that's really done well, then yes, you can have confidence. Like the last one did good, hopefully this one should do well.
Absolutely.
But prior to all of that, like especially with Miami to Ibiza, like it was even though like obviously we grown up in British culture, so house music is very normal. Like it's almost a part of our culture. And what I've realized is, I don't know how you feel, but when certain men get to a certain age, do you know what I mean? They start flying out to different places, and then all of a sudden, this music's calm now. I can enjoy this music. Do you get what I'm saying? So, but at that time, obviously, I wasn't at that place in my life. So I knew it was something I wanted to step into, but I hadn't actually ever released a record like that. So I was worried again, especially coming from the world I'd come from, like what people would say, how people would feel about
Take
it.
to it.
But obviously, that song went on and did a madness. So,
One thing I always take a note on as well, Tinie, is that you've had so much success now, and now you're at a point where you're back making music, and I'm assuming obviously you've always had that love for music.
Always.
Have there been times where the love for music has kind of waned, where it's just like, you know what, I'm not sure about it today? Or do you even have the pressure now, because you've reached so much success? Is there pressure today for you now to go ahead and still do more of that and try to surpass the ones that you've already achieved?
That's a good question. So in terms of what was the first bit, pressure? Yeah, in terms of pressure or falling out of love with music, like like I said before, the pressure's always there. In terms of like love for music, like I've always had love for the music, but sometimes it might be industry politics that might make you like want to fall out of love with it. So I think if you ask most artists, it will never be music itself. It will be the industry, the politics, the infrastructure. Do you know what I mean? Someone saying I can't release my track, or someone saying this, or these are the things that tend to like frustrate artists. And then in terms of what was the next bit that you mentioned, in terms of just surpassing the success that you've achieved now. Exactly.
So you're going back into it now. Like, obviously you're at a point where now you've now had those number ones. You've had this amount of success. Is there pressure to now even want to top that now because you're back now? I think absolutely. Like I think when you're making music, you have to be competitive, and I think now my biggest competitor is me. Do you know what I mean? I'm almost looking at myself and I'm like, okay, cool, this is the second chapter. What are you gonna do now? Obviously the industry's changed, it's evolved, so what the success may look like might not be exactly the same as what it looked like before, but how are you gonna be able to top what you've done before? In terms of like actually like specific accolades and like chart positions and all of that, I think before, I would say if you asked me this maybe about 2 years ago, I would have been like, yes, bro, like I'm feeling the pressure. Like I feel like I need to top what I did last or whatever. But I've got to a place in my life where I'm so content and I'm so blessed. I feel so blessed, so lucky, so privileged, so thankful to the fans that if nothing ever happened with my career moving from this point, I would still be happy. Do you get what I mean? And I would say that was a lot of internal work. It took a lot in my mind, even like going off and like learning different skills, like going and starting Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I saw that.
Doing all these different things. Like it's definitely been the correct work that I needed to do to put myself in the right mindset to be able to release music again. And that's probably partially part of the reason why I've taken so long as well. Outside of like settling down, having kids, doing all of that stuff, I think some of it was the pressure. You know what I mean, I'm here, like people see me as this, like when I step back out, what's that gonna look like? But I think now I'm just in a place where I'm like, as long as I love what I've made and I think creatively, artistically, sonically, it's amazing, I'm gonna just put it out. Do you get what I mean? And that is the luxury of the time that we're in now. Like you could just put tunes out. Do you get what I mean? So that's kind of where I am.
Tinie, how has God helped you in this journey? Because I've always been in the industry, being able to have friends, call artists my friends, and understand what they deal with in the studio when they're going through their frictions with the label, when they're venting, and I'm hearing this and I'm being in the air and I'm just like understanding that there's certain points and moments where some artists probably wanted to quit. I'm not going to name names, but how has God kind of helped you kind of have your faith in such a industry that ebbs and flows, that sometimes it could be very, very harsh and cruel, like, and you have that freedom now to not only just help yourself but help other artists as well.
100%.
How has God helped you in just?
So obviously I'm a Christian Catholic, like raised in a Catholic family, and so obviously God is very important in my life. Like there's nothing that I start without God, you know, being at the forefront of it. And so it's exactly the same for my music. And I think where I am now, you know, as a father, as a grown man, I'm just like, God is in control of everything. And I totally understand that. Do you get what I mean? Obviously, you know, we are responsible for our actions and whatnot, but the story's already written. What's going to happen and what's going to be, you know, whatever's meant to be will be, whatever's not meant to be it's not meant to be. And I've become very, very comfortable with that. So I think God has helped me in a sense that I've been able to kind of remove my ego from the whole equation, and I've got to the point where I'm not trying to control things out of my remit. Like if I know...
Was that hard to do before?
It was very hard, yeah. It was very, very hard, yeah. I've definitely found times where, you know, I've found myself being a control freak or whatnot. But I think where I'm at now, I'm like, you know what? God has a plan. All I'm going to do is do my very best, try to be good, try to be righteous. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? Try to help other people. And then whatever's meant to be is meant to be. And I feel like if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't have like a mindset like that.
Yeah. Tinie, let's talk about the successes. One of the things I was trying to figure out, there's a lot of firsts that you've done. One of them being that you were the first rapper to ever perform for Victoria's Secret fashion show. Yeah. And you've done so great at, I would say, brand partnerships, positioning yourself very, very well, making sure, and it always looks very well done. It always looks very, very polished. And you've bridged that gap between brands like that wanting to work with UK rappers and stuff. Yeah. Was that always somewhat part of the goal as you was elevating in your career? Was you conscious of that as well at the time?
Yeah, I think I was conscious of it, and I think I was conscious of it because of people like Jay-Z. Okay. So obviously you mentioned him earlier, and I think, it's perfectly apt to mention him again. Like in terms of the way he continued to evolve and just transition from being seen as one sort of type of artist to another thing, to a businessman, to a... Do you get what I'm saying? Like that was definitely a blueprint, excuse the pun, that we followed. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. And obviously that's why I probably called it blueprint. Because he very much knows what he's doing, even the art and all this different stuff. So Jay-Z's definitely been a huge influence. And like when it comes to brand partnerships, like he was the first one to do a one-of-one AP. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So all these things, as a massive Jay-Z fan at the time and even still now, I was definitely looking at. And then, you know, before, I would say maybe not so much now, we used to have this idea that like America was 10 years in front. They're just 10 years in front.
That was a thing. That was a thing.
I don't think so much now. Do you get what I mean? But before, it was very much that. So I had that mindset, and I would be looking at artists like Jay-Z thinking the time will come in the UK. Do you know what I mean? That's eventually going to happen. And so I think it was a combination of having that mindset and also the timing in which, you know, my career started to go to a new place, that it was a combination of us reaching out to certain people, but also the majority of them just reached out to me. Do you get
I think they were ready then, because I think what that time really represents is that they've never seen something like this from UK rap. And also that an artist that could genre blend and mix and actually showcase, no, we actually love all types of music. Here's Pass Out, here's Written in the Stars, here's songs like that that still have elements of your true heritage of what you loved about rap, and then mixing it with what the masses will take in 100%. As a hit at the time. Do you know what I mean? 100%. So I definitely pay homage to that as well, Tinie, because you've even shaped that as well in myself, in just terms of how can I align things and make things better going forward as well. And I think there's always a business acumen that artists should be aware of.
Yeah, of course.
As they're going through, because yes, you love the music and you want to create your stuff, but there's also a business side of it that I think you should be also super conscious of as well.
100%, man. Understanding the business is super important. And then again, in terms of like genre blending, like you have to remember, like even being British is a combination of a whole bunch of different genres. Yes. Like we're always joking about, you know, what's the main national dish? Chicken tikka masala, or like teas come from India, or I'm gonna go and get a quick Chinese, or I'm gonna, do you know what I'm saying? So naturally, as a British culture, we do have lots of different cultural influences that make us us. And I feel like that was always something I wanted to reflect in the music. Like even growing up, like I'm hearing everything in the house from Fela Kuti, Shina Peters, to Dolly Parton, to Destiny's Child from my sisters, to Boyzone from my sisters, to Steps, to 50 Cent, do you know what I mean? To Lil Wayne, so all of that stuff is a part of me. Do you get what I mean? And so I'm going to try my best to reflect it in the music. And, you know, when I was first starting out, there was definitely like purists, do you get what I mean, or certain gatekeepers that would have been like, nah man, like that's no longer this because he's off doing that. And then you kind of get bound in this pop kind of category or genre, but then remember, pop is just an abbreviation for popular. Do you get what I mean? And essentially, yes, I want to be popular, like I want to make popular music. So, and then when it comes to the business side as well, like I would say it's obviously easier said than done, but as you learn after a while, and this is what I was saying about equipping the new generation, because it's not only but with resources like giving them a studio to work out of, or do you know what I mean, doing a feature for them. I'm also trying to spend time with the individuals that are willing to listen, because not everyone's willing to listen. Not everyone wants advice as well, to be honest with you. But those who are, you know, have you thought about the business? Have you spoken to your lawyer? Are you reading the contracts as well? Or are you just letting the lawyer do it and then saying it's ready and then you just sign
These
it?
are key
Do you know what I mean?
things.
These are all key little nuanced things that will make a massive difference, or could make a massive difference in your career. And at a time now where, you know, people can just DM you like a brand, you know, we want to work with you, we want to do this deal, here's the contract. You need to know your business more than ever. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's very important. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Absolutely. Tinie, what's your take right now on UK rap?
I think,
what do you think the state is right now? How do you think it is? Do you think it's in a healthy position from where you left it at? And has it progressed in your eyes? Honestly, do you feel like it's actually progressed while you've been away?
I think it's progressed exponentially, and I think it's probably in the healthiest place it's ever been.
Nice.
Like, I was listening to Nux is what's it called, Cut Knuckles the other day. And I was just like, this is just good music, bro. Like, do you get what I mean? It's a bit jazzy, but it's drilly. Do you get what I mean? But the way he's spitting, the cadence, do you get what I mean? What he's been able to talk about, drawing on his, you know, like life back in Nigeria. So the lyrical content, the subject matter. I was like, this music is rich. It's beautiful. Do you get what I'm saying? So, and that's just one artist, but there's a whole bunch of them out there that are producing good music sonically. Do you get what I mean? Lyrically.
Anyone in the artist scene right now that kind of reminds you of a younger you?
I would say probably Dave is the one that I see, and obviously I know Dave well, but you know, he's the one that I see and I'm like, yeah, this guy he reminds me of me. Do you get what I mean? And like, I remember being at his show, like at Coco's, just before everything went crazy. And like, his mom was there and I spoke to his mom. And again, like, that's how I was. Like, I'll bring my mom to everything. Do you get what I mean? So when I was speaking to her and kind of like watching him, there's definitely similarities. And a lot of people have been asking me about my first week sales. Like, a lot of people have been saying, oh, T, you know, you still got the record, 85K in a week. Like, it's been 15 years. No one's going to top it. And I remember being really kind of like PC with my answer, because there is so many different artists. But if I'm being honest and saying it on Represent for the first time, I think if anyone's going to do it outside of myself, it will be Dave.
I think it would be as well, to be fair.
Probably even on this third album.
I'm looking forward to that third album when it drops later on in this month.
What's it, The Boy Who Played the Harp?
Yeah. I think October 24th.
Sick.
So he's been waiting for time. But absolutely. And then that brings me to my question. Who do you want to look forward to kind of working with now? I mean, yes, you're known for incredible list of collaborations as well. Who in a new scene right now would you want to work with that you haven't had the opportunity yet?
That's a good question. I'd say MC rapper wise, I'd say Leo Stay Trill.
Nice.
I like him, yeah.
Okay.
I like him. I think like he brings energy to whatever he does. Like he brings energy. He's come with a sort of new style, new flow. Like it's very interesting. Obviously African guy as well. Yeah. But he's sick. Obviously, Pastor Lou is someone who I respect a lot. Like, I like what he does. And I feel like, again, you know, in my opinion, I think people were watching him for a long time to see where it was going to go. But I feel like he's kind of arrived.
Yeah.
You know
Finally.
I mean? He's here to stay.
Finally.
Like, Pastor Lou's a household name. So I really respect what Pastor Lou's doing.
Outside of UK rap, who would you say? I've got a name, but I want to hear what you might say.
Go outside of UK rap. Ooh, do you know what? There's so many different artists these days. Yeah, go on. Who is he gonna say?
I was gonna say Adele.
Adele, yeah.
I would love to see a Tinie Tempah and Adele
That
song.
would be amazing.
I think that would be absolutely
that would be amazing. Adele, if you're listening right now,
let's
get in the studio.
Let's get it. Why not? Do you know what I mean?
Why not, bro? That would
honestly,
be
that would definitely be a thing, because I feel like, wow, like you, in terms of just UK royalty as a whole, you guys are up there. Tinies, the Adeles, the Ed Sheerans,
yeah.
the
Even
Stormzy.
Ed.
Yeah,
even Ed. I haven't made a tune with Ed, you know. Yeah. Crazy.
And that's shocking to me as well, because bro. Look at your list, look at your resume.
Shocking, yeah. So even Ed, I'd love to work with Ed as well. He's so talented.
That would be, and the thing is, you'd make a hit.
Yeah, I think we would.
Make an absolute hit.
Definitely.
Let's dive into the new single.
Yeah.
Closer, recent release.
Yes, sir.
How did the collaboration between you and Abby Flynn happen? Have you known Abby for a while?
No, I haven't known Abby for a while. But the funny thing is, I know Abby's voice. So, you know, like Abby's had the kind of career, I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, where, you know, she's featured on so many records where you'll recognize her voice.
Yeah.
But she's not necessarily credited as the artist or the main artist.
Okay.
So we had this tune. We were loving this tune, and we already had like a top line kind of written on it. Do you get what I mean? So in essence, the tune was kind of done, but the vocal needed to be like specific.
You knew what you was you knew what you wanted.
I was looking for, exactly. So we're now just going through Spotify, whatever. Who can do this? Like who can? And then obviously Abby Flynn's name came up. Okay. So I was like, yeah, cool. Let's see what she's saying. So we started talking on Insta. Then she came down to the studio, I think like once or twice. Then we got talking, and she shared her story actually, which was very, very deep. So I hope she won't mind me saying this, because I think she's put it online. But yeah, she was like, she was a cancer patient for the longest time, relatively young girl with a kid, and basically, you know, thought this is all over. Do you get what I mean? She was kind of just at the beginning of her singing career, and then decided to go away, make a jazz album, thinking this is the last thing I'm gonna do, put it on Spotify and all the streaming platforms. And then just kind of like forgot about things for a while. Luckily, thank God, she got better. Yeah. And then just had this whole new lease of life. And she was like, you know what? I'm going to be more front facing. I'm going to be out there more. People need to know my name. And so I feel like we almost met at like the perfect time, if that makes sense. Because, you know, we was looking for someone for that track who could really like, you know, do the vocal justice and take it to another level. And she was just perfect for that. So yeah, that's basically how the tune came about. And Closer is basically about a relationship that is, you know, just about to get very, very serious. Yeah. But both individuals in the relationship are mentally in two different places. You know what I mean? So maybe let's say you've got to your 3, 4, 5 years. It's getting serious now. But whether it's the male or the female still wants to be outside. She still wants to be with her girl, still wants to be having fun. The man wants to be more serious, or vice versa. And it's how they kind of navigate that when they both know that they don't want to lose each other, but they're in two different places, like mentally. So that's what Closer's about.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I want to see Tinie back at festivals.
Yeah, of course. Next year, bro.
Yeah, by the grace of God. What does a Tinie album look and sound like in today's climate?
I think it's euphoria. I think it's energy. I think in a time now where people are not going out as much, people are socializing, but people are socializing differently. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Even if you think of social media, like probably most of your brethren that you talk to, you'll be just sharing memes and just laughing.
I'm a FaceTime person. I love a FaceTime.
Or FaceTime. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think people are socializing differently. And I think when you listen to an album like mine or a project of mine, you immediately, especially like maybe 9 out of the 10 tracks, if we're just saying there's 10, it makes you want to be outside. It makes you want to go out. It makes you want to be around your people. It makes you feel good. Do you get what I mean? I've always wanted to bring joy through my music. So I think a lot of my music has that joyous feeling, that euphoria type feeling. And I feel like it's very distinctly British as well. Do you get what I mean? I feel like in a time now where we're talking about, you know, everyone's trying to be a little bit more patriotic, and we're trying to, you know, as much as I'm a very much proud Nigerian, I was born in England, do you get what I mean? And I'm British. And so growing up listening to all these American rappers, the moment I discovered So Solid Crew, Dizzy Rascal, like it was like my whole world changed. I was like, I'm gonna focus on this because this is us. Like this is realistic. So I've always tried to ensure that, you know, I keep the music sounding British. And that's why with the project that I'm working on now, I've tapped into the drum and bass. I've tapped into certain types of house music, certain types of garage, etc., because these are all British sounds that people don't realize the majority of it came from black people. Do you get what I mean? Caribbean drum and bass and jungle, that's like a hybrid of like white and Caribbean culture coming together for the first time, and a lot of people won't even know that. So so I try to keep my music distinctively British, and that's Tinie.
All right, cool. We're gonna a quick rapid round, and then round it up with 1 or 2 more questions, and then we're done. Rapid fire. Okay, First big purchase after your first number one.
A car.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Just for yourself or with family as well?
After first number one.
After your first number one.
Oh, a house.
A house?
Yeah.
Okay, which house?
One in Hackney, actually.
Okay, the one that you was... Okay.
Alexander McQueen's house.
Okay, that was it from your first number one?
Yeah, it wasn't just from the first number one, but by the time I'd had that number one, then yes. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Okay. One artist we kind of answered that question anyway.
Yeah.
One artist you still want to work with?
Yeah, I even throw in a new one, Sky Newman as well. She's really good.
Okay, nice. Last time you felt starstruck?
Last time I felt starstruck was that's a very, very good question.
Does Tinie still get starstruck?
Boy, I mean, if you're a UFC fan, the other day I was with George St. Pierre. He's a legendary UFC fighter. So
he
we
was
were
with
in Paris.
GSP?
Yeah, exactly, the big man. So we were in Paris together, and I've met him a couple of times. But now that I do jiu-jitsu as well, I have like a newfound respect. Yeah, because that stuff is not easy.
I know. I've been seeing it still. I'm slightly getting into it as well later in the year.
You should do it.
I love it still.
Yeah, you should do it.
Most Nigerian thing about you?
Most Nigerian thing about me? That's a good question. Mo, what's the most Nigerian thing about me, bro? my Igbo name, Chukwuemeka.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And last thing.
My surname, Okogwu.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
A quote or mantra you live by?
It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
Okay. Now, the last question I have for you, Tinie, is now that this is happening, you're back making music. We're all excited. We're happy here for you as well.
Appreciate you guys, man.
I just want to know, 2025, is there a concert, is there a show that we can go to? Anything happening this side of the year?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So basically, I'm starting off my touring in Australia. So it's going to be long for you guys to come there. It's a 23-hour flight, man. I'm dreading it. But yeah, we kick off that like middle of this month. And then November, we're starting off a little run of shows in the UK.
Nice.
So we're going to be in London. I think it's the 18th of November. And then we're going to be in Manchester. I think that's the 21st of November. And then we've got Glasgow, and we've also got Birmingham as well. So yeah, if you don't want to come and see your boy, I'm going to be about, man.
Mo, I'm going to shout you. Yeah, I need some tickets, man.
Say no more.
I need some tickets.
Maybe we'll even do a little competition on here as well.
Okay. Tinie said it here first.
Yeah.
Why not? Dropped a couple of excuses today, Tinie, man. I appreciate you.
Of course.
Tinie, it's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute honor.
No, thank you for having me, bro.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being back.
Of course.
Obviously contributing to music.
It's only right, bro. It's only right. How could I be sitting on the sidelines? How?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, you got the bug again now.
Exactly.
So I really appreciate that you're back making music. Tinie Tempah, new singles out right now. Abby Flynn, right?
Yeah.
Abby Flynn, Closer.
Flynn, yeah.
Make sure I'm gonna obviously play it on here as well, to be fair. So yeah, Tinie Tempah, Samueni, signing out.
Appreciate it, brother. Love stuff.
That's a wrap.